What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Lawson's Finest Liquids, and they are out of Waitsfield, Vermont, and this is their Juice Stand. So this is a blood orange IPA that comes in at 5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, this can is approximately 6 weeks old. So when I first heard about this one, I was like, I got to get my hands on it. I love blood orange, so if you don't follow the channel, you might not know that when it comes to fruits in general, I love blood orange and tangelos when it comes to citrus fruits, and I really wanted to try this one out. When I was thinking about beers to pick up for shelfie beers for the month of August 2024, this was one of them. Couldn't find it. I settled on their Super Lemon Nova, which was a blonde ale with lemon zest, but about a week later, I did find this one. So I want to give a couple shout outs to some beer tubing friends. First and foremost, Jesse over at Bumpyisms. I saw him review this one and he would kind of like spark the idea, and actually before I saw him review it, I had no idea this existed. So, or if I did know it existed, I didn't remember the beer specifically. So I saw him review it, he really enjoyed it. Then I saw another beer tubing friend, Jonah, over at 6'2 Beer Reviews. He also reviewed this one, and they both really enjoyed this beer. So I was like, you know what? I got to grab it. So here we are. It is just a blood orange IPA. The spiel on the side says brewed with oats and wheat. Juice Stand is slightly hazy with copious amounts of Citra hops and multiple doses of blood orange, which make the IPA a citrusy sensation. Very generic, but they're brewing it with oats and wheat. That mouthfeel should be nice. And then on top of that, multiple doses of blood orange. They said the same thing with that lemon zest blonde ale. They said multiple doses of lemon zest. So here we go. And I'm making an absolutely, what the fuck, why is this so carbonated? And like always, I spill it because I'm terrible at pouring beer. But I feel like a lot of times when I spill these, the carbonation on these beers is bonkers. So kind of wild. Anyway, I did not anticipate it looking like that at all. Okay, we'll do something like this. All right. Let's hope that it doesn't go over the glass as I continue to spill beer everywhere. But I'm all right at this point. I got the bounties. Everything's cool. Not really wasting too much time, although my time is, I was going to say my channel is a waste as a whole. So my channel, my time. Well, you're wasting time watching my channel. I don't know what's going on. All right, so that's much lighter and much more, I mean, the clarity is really nice. Like on camera, it's not gonna be as good, but like you can see by shadow through it, but you hold it up to the light and yeah, you can see it looks like kind of like a blonde ale or something. 3 fingers of a crazy head because I poured it like an idiot, and also it seemed to be quite carbonated. A very like straight on golden yellow color, or I wouldn't even say golden, I'm more like a straw yellow color, kind of like a, you know, if you're drinking something like a Kolsch, maybe even a little bit lighter than that. The head, meanwhile, bright white, has a soap sudsy look to it. I'm going to give it a little bit of a swirl here and just, see if it'll kind of be a little bit more uniform, and I'd say it is. Good carbonation in there, but I'd say, for a beer like this, I think it looks fine. I didn't expect it to be like overly hazy or anything. It's just, this is clear beer and I'm into it. Let's go. It smells like fresh, oranges, or like more like an orange peel. It's like, it's not juicy in the nose. It smells more like pithy and rindy. But wow, that blood orange is big. I'm also getting other nondescript like citrus fruits, like kind of in that like lemon realm, tangerine, the aforementioned tangelo. You can say grapefruit, pretty much anything. But for me, it's more like orange, tangerine for the most part. I wouldn't specify blood orange. I love blood oranges, but I can't sit here and be like, oh, it smells exactly like a blood orange. There's a nice, like, zesty kind of, like a zesty floral kind of hop character too. Not really like dank or herbaceous or anything, more like zesty and floral. Man. It's 5%. I'm not expecting like a flavor explosion, but what I'm expecting is a nice, well-made, well-rounded IPA with blood orange accentuating the base beer. And I hope that happens. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Wow. Oh, I really like the finish. And I like the fact that I can taste the base malt. A lot of like sub 7, 6.5% IPAs, you get the malt character. And I think that's really welcoming when I'm drinking something a little bit lower ABV. I feel like it really helps out for me personally. Yeah, that's nice off first sip. Also, aforementioned Jesse and Jonah, they deserve way more love than they currently get. So if you are a beer tubing fan, you like watching beer reviews on YouTube, go check out both channels. Fantastic dudes. It's Bumpyisms, and then the Jonah's is 6'2 beer reviews. Go check them out. If I remember, I'll try to post something maybe in the description box or like in the corner over here so you guys can check them out. Body is 5%. It's like higher side of light, lower side of medium. It's expected. And I think that helps out the drinkability. It makes it a little bit more refreshing being a little bit lighter bodied. And it's 5%. I'm not expecting the world here. And it's not thin and watery. It's just, kind of in that realm where it's definitely lighter than if you were drinking a 6.5 or 7% IPA, because that's how that works most of the time. The mouthfeel, it has new school and old school kind of vibes to it. Old school in that it has like a moderate carbonation. It's effervescent on the palate, spritzy. It's dancing on the tongue, all that carbonation. But it's still smooth and somewhat creamy. So I think that's where the oats and the wheat are helping out, where it has a nice smoothness and a little bit of creamy sensation as well. The taste, right up front, big, as they say, you're going to hear some sours potentially, big doses of orange. Again, I'm not going to specify blood orange because I would just be bullshitting you and lying, being like, oh, I can definitely tell there's blood orange in here. I would just, if I was doing this blind, I said any kind of orange, I'd be happy with myself. So any kind of orange. Specifically, they're using blood orange, but it has a big orangey kind of, it's more juicy in the taste than it was in the nose, but it's juicy, it's rindy, it's pithy, it's zesty, it's a lot. It's like the entire orange. So it's like if you just bit into an orange with the rind and the peel and everything on there. That's kind of the flavor I'm getting on the palate. Right after that, I get hit with this nice, I would say more of like a crackery, kind of slightly bready malt character that dives underneath the palate, and it's omnipresent. It's never the predominant note, but it's always with me, and I can even taste it on the finish. It has just like that crackery kind of malt character. It's really nice. After the orange, that, again, nondescript citrus, you could say grapefruit, you could say tangerine, you could say lemon, you could say lime, whatever, and you wouldn't be wrong. I'm getting more like lemon, if anything, but it has like a slight tartness throughout the taste too from the blood orange. It's not like drinking like a sour beer or something, but just a nice kiss of tartness from front to back. On the finish, it has a zesty, floral, almost earthy kind of hop character on the finish. Its finish is semi to full on dry, mild to moderate bitterness. So I think those two in conjunction balance out the beer, although the beer's not that sweet to begin with. It is 5%, and again, it's not all that sweet, but it does have a pretty big dryness now that I'm sitting here. It makes me want to go back for more, which I will. 5% alcohol by volume, you can't tell. Really nice. This is just a really nicely made beer. That's the way I would look at it. And the carbonation has settled down. I'm going to pour the rest in here and see if I can make it all in there. We did it. Yeah, not much else to say about this one. Like I said, I saw Jonah and Jesse review this one, and both were enjoying it. And I pretty much had a good idea that I would enjoy it based on their reviews, but also based on the fact that I like blood orange, I like lower ABV IPAs, and I am not upset about this one at all. I'm curious to see, because I didn't look on Untapped, but it's a sub, it's not a double, we'll just say this, it's not a double or imperial IPA. So right from the get-go, you're probably starting at like a 4 out of 5 on Untapped, and then you start going downwards. A lot of people probably don't like that tartness and kind of blood orange character that you can get in beers, because that's how blood orange is. And, you compare maybe something that's like Sip of Sunshine and probably turn some folks off. I would guess this is probably, no higher than like, it's probably like the 3.75 range, give or take, like a 0.05 or something. Me personally, I'm going to go a bit higher than that. Not crazy high, but pretty high. Listen, there's not a lot of complexity here. It's not over the top. It's a 5% blood orange IPA. They delivered on the orange characteristic. It's very well balanced, easy to drink, super refreshing, quite light. I could crush a shit ton of these during these warmer months in the summertime. It's a nice beer. And kudos to Lawson's for making this one. So juice stand from Lawson, we go low 4.25, I go 4.15. I think that is a fair score for me. I would give it, maybe in the high 4 range, but I bump it up in the low 4.25 because I think just the drinkability of something like this is just outstanding. It's balanced enough where I could drink probably an entire 4-pack of this at 5%. I would be feeling pretty good, but not like, super. I wouldn't be drunk most likely, depending on how quickly I drank it. And it would just be very refreshing in warmer weather. So I think that this beer specifically is really nice for, what Lawson's puts out. I think is right in the wheelhouse of the quality of their beer. So price point availability, a little bit expensive for a 5% IPA with blood orange, but it was where I grabbed it. And I saw it in one other place, same price point, $15.99 4-pack. I think I paid, it's like $4.50 or something for that can, always a little bit more expensive where you buy it. It is what it is. $16 4-pack is Lawson's. They're kind of, IPAs are in that realm. I would like to see this maybe a couple bucks cheaper, more in the $13.99 4-pack range. Maybe it is a little bit cheaper where you see it. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but $16 4-pack for something like this, a bit pricey, but that's beer nowadays. That's the world nowadays. And then availability. This is one of the 9-state limited releases from Lawson. So if you go to their website, it says the 9 states that they released this one in. New York State is one of those states. So I was able to grab it. If you're in one of those 9 states, it should be easy for you to grab this one. I don't know if they'd say 9-state limited release. That's it. Because sometimes breweries will be like, it only gets distribution here, and then all of a sudden you'll see it in like 5 different states. You're like, what the hell happened? I don't know if that's the case, but if you do see this one, I highly recommend grabbing it if you like lower ABV IPAs and you like blood orange. I think this is I don't want to say match made in heaven, but it's a pretty fucking good match, all right? So anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Like I said, 5%, you can't taste it. And if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it, what you think about it, whatever the case may be. And I think they've done multiple batches, because I want to say when Jonah reviewed his, I think his was like canned like sometime in June, like early to mid-June. Something like that, or maybe it was it was in June. Mine was canned on actually early July, which is why it's around 6 weeks old as I review this one. So keep your eye out. They might do different batches throughout the course of like August, considering this is like their July, August summer seasonal. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers. Oh yeah, one last thing. That tartness I was talking about, it never really built up at all, but it's still like lingering a little bit on my palate. So I like that. I like that when an IPA is something different and a tartness is a bit different. Anyway, cheers.